Steven, how much do you hate Blake Snell now?
Not at all. Why?
You don't hate Blake Snell even just a little bit?
No.
Not even just a tiny bit?
No.
Then who do you hate?
Baseball, the lack of a salary cap, the Giants for not being smart with their money and not trading him when they could have. I don't blame the player at all.
So you don't hate the player, hate the game.
No, I exactly. There's this weird fantasy land that sports fans live in where they think that the athletes that play for their team actually have some sort of allegiance to said team. Maybe when Derek Jeter was a Yankees fan growing up, he absolutely despised the Red Sox, sure. But Blake Snell didn't grow up some Giants fan who grew up hating this Giants-Dodger or hating the Dodgers in this rivalry. No. World Series champions came calling and they offered him $36 million per year until he's like 35 years old. I mean, take that all day.
And no opt-out.
Hang on. How old is he? Yeah, he's way older than that. Oh, he's 31. So he's 31. So he's my age. And yeah, if I could take $36 million per year from the Dodgers, I'd do it. So yeah, no ill will towards him. And I think anyone who is shitting on him today, I just think it's ridiculous.
But Steven, all during the season, he said he would sign back with the Giants. He gave his word.
Derek, just a little piece of advice. Don't be this condescending when you're on the air doing afternoons now.
I will be. I will be.
You're not going to make any friends doing that.
Hey, I got to tell the truth. It's just my opinion, man. Just your opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa. I'm at Boca Raton or Del Boca Vista at my mom's place. Chilling, having myself a Bloody Mary.
Lovely.
And I lost in picks. So let's get this out of the way. My mom doesn't have any hot sauce. So I tried to find the most disgusting thing she had in her fridge. And the thing I could find best was some horseradish. So I've got a spoonful of horseradish. And should I save it for later or should I do it now?
Whatever you want, man. It's your punishment.
Let's get this out of the way because I don't know how long this will go bad while it's sitting on the spoon. Okay. Got my water right here. Here we go. Oh, God.
Oh, my God, Derek.
Blake Snell.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the move?
Signs with the Dodgers. 5 years, $182 million. No opt-outs. Are you surprised?
Can't say that I am. Not when he tested free agency, and the Giants weren't the first ones to give him a deal.
Yeah, that was gross. Steven, you could finally say that I did something for punishment now.
Yes, finally.
So is this the new thing going forward?
Doesn't have to be. Could be anything else.
Thank you.
Oh, man. You got tissues next to you? Aram making a good point here. The man's nose is wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, and my butthole might be wide open later.
Yeah, it'll be winking at you.
I'm not surprised. It never was like a firm thing that Blake Snell was going to come back to the Giants. No matter how many reports we got from Susan Slusser, it was always going to be he was going to test the market. And I think most fans would agree that he was a mercenary this year. Just coming for, it was originally a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal with an opt-out after the first year?
Yeah.
Whatever it was. I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Steven. I think you're 100% right. You really can't hate Blake Snell for doing this. I know Giants fans will, I know Adam Copeland's already going off on Twitter about him, but it's not like, the others like Jeff Kent or Jason Schmidt,
Brian Wilson,
any other of the guys like that really established themselves as a Giant before leaving. This was a 1-year thing, and he had a slow start. There was questions about even Farhan trading him at the deadline, but yeah, he's gone. And I think you just got to hate the way that the Dodgers do business, but you really can't hate them because they're aggressive and the Giants aren't.
I want to talk to someone who's like an expert in sports business because a lot of this is deferred, or not a lot, but there's 60 million that's deferred, more deferred payments for the Dodgers.
And that helped.
And
Well,
we
okay.
already-
How long is the deferred money for? Because I thought it was just for last year. Is he still deferring money?
I have no clue.
Okay, that's a question for John Morosi when I can get a hold of him.
Are you talking? Who are you talking? You're talking about Snell?
No, I'm talking about Ohtani, that they were able to free this salary up for him.
Oh, dude, they're deferring the money beyond 2034.
Good God. So when does he get his cash?
He
Then?
gets
Well, then.
Here, Derek. You should see this contract, okay? Dude signs the richest contract in history, right? $700 million. First $700 million man, probably going to be usurped. I just find it weird to use that word.
Very Hamlet style.
It is very dictator-esque sounding. Look at the contract though. $2 million per year over the next 10 years. Then he's an unrestricted free agent. But after that, what they aren't mentioning is, deferred money.
Oh, mama. Yeah.
68 million per year from 2034 through 2034. How does that work? Like, I don't.
You think he pitches till he's 48?
No, but he's not. I mean, there's no chance. It's genius. It's like, hey, we're gonna get Japan's most marketable superstar who already makes enough in endorsements that he's feeling good enough that we don't have to pay him anything while he's playing for us. But afterwards, that's when we got to worry about it. And we've never seen deferred payments of this magnitude. So, like, where does it go? How does it work? How does this impact teams? The Dodgers are just on the hook for 68 million from 2034 through 2044, and there's no repercussions as to what it does to the roster. I'm really confused by all of this, and really, this is kind of new. I mean, I know the Bobby Bonilla deal is the most popular one, but they're only paying him 1.3 million or something like that. It's nothing compared to the 68 they're going to pay Ohtani. But anyway, point being, 60 million of Blake Snell's contract is deferred. I don't know how they're going to disperse that, but it's smart business. And really, my biggest question, you asked me if I'm surprised by the Snell move. No. What I am surprised by is that the Major League Baseball owners who control all of this haven't figured out that this is probably the best way to do business in a sport that's without a salary cap. Dodgers keep spending, Dodgers keep trading, Dodgers keep on winning.
No, I hear that, but I think that some owners don't want to do that. Case in point, the A's, and case in point, a little bit, the San Francisco Giants. And I don't think
you can't really say that, though, can you?
You can, because the Giants, it's a different ball game with the A's, but the Giants, I mean, they were 10th in payroll last year, but they're not as aggressive as the Dodgers in any way, shape, or form.
Well, the Giants were aggressive last year. They spent,
but not with the right guys.
That's the thing. They spent the money. They're not afraid to spend the money. It's the decision making that's stupid.
But the Dodgers go after the superstars,
right?
And they want to come, and for whatever reason, I mean, I think you and I are in agreement here. I think most Giants fans would agree that Juan Soto's not coming to the Giants. He's not even taking an interview with them.
Right.
So I'm not surprised. This is just becoming a trend in most Giant off seasons. Not that guys are leaving, but he was a big name free agent. Buster Posey even said his first day on the job that he's a high priority. But I never really knew if he was that committed to Blake Snell. And I kind of got a sense, not from Buster Posey, but maybe people in the organization, that they were kind of rubbed the wrong way by him not doing that final start. Remember that, where he was going to go into free agency and didn't think it was worth it? JT Snow came on with Tolbert and Copes and said, I wouldn't sign back Blake Snell. Now, I thought that was a little aggressive, but they even said they're going to shed salary this offseason. So I would prepare fans. This might be a real evaluation season, kind of like with the Raiders, where Buster Posey's looking around saying, all right, Bob Melvin, you're my guy for this year, but I want to see if you get the best out of this ball club before we actually start aggressively spending money.
Right, but I think it's just going to be one season of that. I don't see it lasting beyond that. But, they have Jung-Hoo Lee under contract for the next 4 years, although I don't know what his injury did to that, or the next 5, rather. Obviously, they just signed Chapman to the 6-year deal. The Snell thing is interesting, too. I wonder how...
by the way, sorry to cut you off, but by the way, that Matt Chapman post where he's, like, doing, like, a rap song to kind of make fun of Blake Snell for leaving. That's not real. I don't know if you saw that.
The snake one?
What I don't know the title. I
It
don't know
was pretty fishy because it was on Instagram and there's only about 1.1 thousand followers. I realized that after sharing it with some friends.
And it's pretty aggressive, the lyrics. So, and I don't think Matt Chapman, even though he signed with the Giants, is that indebted to the Giants to go after Blake Snell.
What, Super Gremlins by Kodak Black?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's what the 49ers used to run out to in 2022. I think that was the song of choice with the Boombox guy.
The Boombox guy was in studio yesterday with Ricky Waters. That was something with Greg Papa.
That shit cray. So, back to Snell though. I don't know what Farhan was thinking with these 1-year deals with the 1-year opt-outs. I felt like validated when I heard Fleming on 95.7 say like the first kind of stain, I guess, on Zaidi's record was when they gave the 1-year deal, 1-year option to Kevin Gausman, just let him walk to Toronto. You're seeing it nonstop with pitchers. I don't know what their goal is because it feels like that is a contract that is favorable for teams that actually win. They felt so confident. Hey, we're going to give you this 1-year deal. We're not going to be on the hook for anything beyond the future. You have the option to stay with us if you suck. But if you're good, then you could test free agency. But you know what? If you test free agency, we're going to pay you the big bucks. Like, that doesn't work.
But would you rather have Blake Snell or not have Blake Snell?
I'd rather have Blake Snell.
Then I think that was necessary to sign him. I think he probably looked at the team and said, all right.
You mean last year?
Yes.
Oh, I'd rather not have Blake Snell last year.
Okay.
He was a waste of a start in the first half of the season when it mattered. Like, there was no point in the second half. He was amazing, but by that point, everyone had given up on the team already.
I think because those guys signed so late that was the only way they were going to get him is by doing multi-years, but opt-outs after the first year.
Yeah.
And then Matt Chapman was hooked. He loves Bob Melvin. Blake Snell, I've always heard that he and Bob Melvin were not on great terms, but he came to San Francisco anyway.
Yeah, even back in San Diego, they weren't.
Yeah. So, okay, Blake Snell's gone, and he joins the Dodgers. And now you look at the Giants' rotation, and it consists of Logan Webb, Hayden Birdsong, Landon Roop, Mason Black, Kyle Harrison, Robbie Ray, and Keaton Wynn. Is that enough for you?
No, but I don't expect them to go get a top-tier pitcher. Like Corbin Burns is going to be the one everyone asks about. But
no, I was looking up free agent pitchers, and that guy's always been kind of mentioned with the Giants. But then again, everybody's mentioned with the Giants. He's the youngest guy that's available. You want to go after a 40-year-old Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander or Patrick Corbin. Those are older guys. Charlie Morton's 41 years old. I don't think they're going to be aggressive this offseason.
Charlie Morton,
sorry. All right, Steven.
Morton Salt.
But so at what point, though, it's Buster Posey's first year, but I wonder when people are going to start turning on him. Because if Farhan was still around, oh, my God, they'd be out for blood right now. And, yes, Buster Posey, everybody loves Buster Posey. And Zach Namazian is a brand new guy. But at what point are they going to start getting angry at him for not doing the right things?
God, that'll take a couple of years.
You don't think it happens? You don't think it happens now?
No, it's not going to happen this offseason. He's cleaning up the mess.
And that's why I think that I don't hate the move because, hey, it's good PR. But that's what it is at the end of the day. Good PR to go from Farhan, who everybody hated, to a guy that everybody loved, and Buster Posey. And while it might not be a winning product on the field, fans are not going to be that angry at the GM.
Well, I'm not convinced that it won't be a winning product on the field. I'm convinced that Farhan was a terrible president of baseball operations. And somehow, like, there was this article, I forgot who he did the interview with, but it was kind of misleading because he did like a not job interview, but post-firing interview. And they asked him about that whole thing that Will Clark said, where Farhan was the one calling the shots with the lineup. Mm-hmm. It took him a really long time to say, no, Bob and I work together with that stuff. I just don't buy that. And I think what Posey's doing, I'm not measuring Posey by what he does with free agents. I might measure what he does at the trade deadline and see the impact he makes there. But I'm going to see what the changes are on the field, because it felt like last year and the years throughout the Farhan era, there were just constant moves that were being made for no reason because it felt like they were going by the spreadsheet, by the iPad, which is something that I hate. But I think that as long as you see a change on the field, then I think that's what I'll measure Posey by, not the off-season moves that he's supposed to make.
But are you that confident they're going to change on the field?
Yeah, fairly.
Why? Why is that?
Because it's a whole new regime, a whole new front office, whole new staff. You get guys in. I'm expecting at least an improvement from an 81-81 season. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going to win the West. I think you got to take a step back and just take a look at the Dodgers and just say, you know what, this is your division for one more year, but we are loading up. We are retooling. I think things are going to change. I'm optimistic about it. Just Derek, don't do the thing where you go on the air your first day and come up with some outlandish take that's going to get you noticed. Don't come out there and be like, I think Buster Posey's a total PR move. Total PR hit. Ease into it.
Steven.
Ease
I gotta
into
be me.
it, Derek.
Okay, Steven. If anybody doesn't want attention, it's me. Case in point, me eating horseradish. But
Yep.
I got to be me, and I got to be honest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to evaluate Buster Posey. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can't deny that this is also kind of, hey, remember Buster Posey? He's back, gang. I'm not going to say he's going to be a terrible GM by any means. Like, by all means,
Right.
Him and Zach Namazian, do your thing. I just don't think it's trending in a right direction. Right?
No, it's not.
But
It's not.
I do think, as John Shea was going after Buster Posey, I do think it's kind of a scapegoat year for Bob Melvin, a lame duck year, I should say, but kind of a scapegoat year. So yeah, no, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, I really want to know what Farhan was thinking with those 1 year opt-outs.
He needed to bring in those guys, Steven.
Yeah, but why? To save his job?
Yes, because he was trying to save his job. Yes.
Fucking makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense. Like everything from the top from him, like the moves that they were making with the minor league players, just sending guys down, sending guys back up. Like I'm trying to think of like a quick example. Bryce Young going down and being on the bench, right? Okay. Bryce Young looks like a different quarterback. They were planning on doing that same thing with like Camilo Doval, where they'd send him down to the minors, get his confidence up, and then he'll go back up to the big leagues and he'll be the Camilo Doval that we saw previously. Nope. It just ruined his confidence, and he looked like the same pitcher that he was, who was frustrated with everything. I think that there were a lot of things that happened with the Giants that were not just self-inflicted wounds, but I just don't think they were a well-run organization. And Farhan was a big part of that, obviously the top of that. So I think there's going to be a change in the demeanor, the approach to this team as opposed to the years prior. That's kind of why I have more confidence right now. Do they have as much talent as these other teams? Obviously not. And I'm not going to get my hopes up on any of these free agents this year. Quite frankly, I don't think there's that many good ones anyway. I know Max Fried is the big guy from the Braves, but Fried's been dealing with injuries for a lot of his career, even though he's been showing that he's extremely capable of being the ace of a rotation. Too many injuries for him. Jack Flaherty, I know from the Dodgers, is a free agent. Maybe they go after him now, who's kind of he could be a number one guy, but I think he's kind of part of that second tier. But it's not going to be any free agents that I measure Buster Posey. It's going to be the results that they get with this club. And if they're still just an 81-81 team, then all right, maybe I'll kind of start to sour on him a little bit or start to question things. Hopefully he gives straightforward answers too. I think that was a frustrating thing about Farhan. He'd give you a nothing burger.
I don't know how much we're going to see of Buster Posey in the media too. I think it's going to be a lot of Zach Namazian.
Yeah. Probably.
All right, that's enough baseball. And shout out to my guy.
What is that? A bird in the background?
Yeah, a lot of birds, a lot of AC stuff. Just go with the flow of Del Boca Vista, Steven. Shout out to my man, Baby Huey, on the bone in the chat with us right now. Derek will be great hosting afternoons on KMBR. Thank you, sir.
Baby Huey.
Yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get him on the pod one
You
of these
know,
days.
Baby Huey?
Yes.
I'm sorry, dude. Like I've told you this before. I didn't grow up listening to sports radio in the car on the way in, save for, Giants games and A's games. I was listening to The Bone. I was listening to Lamont Antonelli in the morning.
You're a big Bone guy.
Baby Huey. I'm a bonehead.
Yeah.
What?
We'll get Baby Huey will come on the pod with us. I'll ask him in a couple weeks. All right. Let's talk about Bay Area sports in general right now. Okay, so Giants lose Blake Snell.
Yep.
Steph Curry is out because he has knee soreness in both knees. 49ers are dealing with a plethora of injuries and they're losing. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Uh-huh.
But hey, could be worse. Could have got my nose bitten by a Saigon whore. You bastard. Sorry, I was watching Dirty Work last night. Great movie.
You just had to watch it just because that's going to be the name of the show.
Yeah, I was looking for inspiration.
Fair enough. I
was watching that scene. I was like, could we get away with the first episode if we just go through all of those bad things with Bay Area teams? Then me and Copes go, it could be worse. Could get our nose bitten off by Saigon whores. Like, I don't know if we can say that on the radio.
I also don't think as many people have heard of this movie as you think.
Whatever. Who cares? At this point, my friend, the ratings don't matter.
I guess so. Yeah, just become more comfortable. It was better than what I was doing last night. We're watching. It's Harry Potter season in the Langford household, and I don't know why, but last night during the Goblet of Fire, maybe it's because it's the holidays, and at some point we'll watch It's a Wonderful Life. But I just kept on reacting to things happening in Harry Potter as if Jimmy Stewart was in Harry Potter. Oh my gosh, Severus, you're still alive. You're in the fire. What are you doing? Harry, how'd you put your name into the Goblet of Fire? Why'd you do that? You don't want to take part in the Triwizard Tournament. Harry, come on, Harry.
Everyone talks about how Die Hard, if it's a Christmas movie or not. My bigger debate is if It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie or not. Because Christmas is barely in the movie. It's a 3-hour flick, and the last hour consists of Christmas. And I always laugh because the scene that always gets me is when he's pissed off because he lost the money and his daughter's on the piano. And he's like, you have to play that damn piano right now? Oh, Daddy, why? Just a great performance. There's plenty of time to discuss that. All right, let's talk about football. And let's start with the Raiders first. As I always say, we don't need to go into why not? Yeah, exactly. We'll just get it out of the way. They lose 29-19. They have the worst record in football right now. The Titans have 3 wins. The
Jags, don't they? Or
yeah, Jags. Yeah, I guess they're tied with the Jags. Yeah. So 29-19, it's clear that the Raiders are the ugly duckling of the AFC West right now. They get swept by the Denver Broncos, I believe, for the first time since like 2014.
Oh, hello.
The Raiders have always dominated the Broncos in recent years. And once again, they could get nothing on the ground. I don't even know who this guy is. McCormick rushes for 33 yards. He's your leading rusher, but they finished with 69 rushing yards. 69. Jacoby Myers is a big game. Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers, but Gardner Minshew started off the game pretty well, and then he throws a pick and gets hurt. And he's out for the rest of the season with a broken collarbone. No one ever wants to see someone get hurt, but I don't think Raider fans are going to miss Gardner Minshew. It's just been a horrible season. I don't think he'll be back with the team. And they had Desmond Ridder play a little bit. This team is just all over the place right now. And I shouldn't say all over the place. They're in a horrible place. They can't run the football. They can't protect. Their quarterback play is awful. They're a terrible red zone offense. Their defense shows, flashes at times, but they're just a bad team. And I think that if you look at the league and say who really needs the first overall pick, it's the Raiders by far. You could say, well, the Jaguars are a terrible team. They have Trevor Lawrence. They can get a new coach, and I think they could turn it around just like that. The Raiders need a new coach and more. They need a new quarterback. They need a new offensive line. They need new running backs. They can upgrade a little bit of wide receiver, but I'm cool with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. Yeah, they need a brand new everything, man.
Just give me a veteran on the offensive line. That's all I ask. Just one. Like I'm good with DJ Glaze. It's my favorite name in the NFL. I'm good with DJ Glaze at right tackle. I'm good with Jackson Powers Johnson at center. I'm good with Colton Miller on the left side. Just give me one veteran that can play guard. That's all I ask from the offensive line. But I couldn't help but think this weekend, especially because obviously hyper focused on the Packers with the 49ers playing them and just seeing Josh Jacobs run all over the Niners and force, I think, 15 missed tackles, which is the most for any ball carrier this season, putting up crazy numbers. And then you see Saquon Barkley and what he was able to do, obviously, with the Eagles. I know they were in different situations. In the Giants one, obviously, it's more glaring because letting Saquon Barkley go and then he turns into an MVP with the Eagles, like that's bad. And you had Saquon in his prime. But what were
By the way, Giants only 2 wins as well, now that I remember it.
What were they thinking with Josh Jacobs? Like I didn't know if that should have been a concern in the preseason. We talked about it. We were like, so they're just gonna let him go and they're just gonna have Zamir White fill in and he's gonna be RB1. Like, is that really gonna work? I kept an open mind to it because they've seen Zamir White a lot more than we have. But what happened this season? Zamir White is one of the worst running backs in the NFL, at least statistically. Great guy, but not a great running back in the NFL. Well, Josh Jacobs is running wild for the Packers. Like, I know you didn't have an offensive line to establish around him, but God, if they had any threat of a run at all, like, I think that would have been better. It would have been better off for Gardner Minshew and the play action and doing all those different things. What were they thinking? Like, that's to me is the one thing where I'm like, dude, that's bad. Just letting him go, not signing him to a bigger deal.
I mean, you could blame the Raiders for doing that, but you also have to blame the Giants and the Titans for not re-signing their guys. And you have to look at the opportunities that those guys had to go to established teams with offensive lines. And yes, Stephen, it was Zamir White running around crazy on that Christmas Day game against the Chiefs that gave the Raiders a bolt of confidence that they can go forward with him. So, yeah, it's a lot of head scratching moves.
I like this from AJ Cruz. DJ Glaze sounds like a music director for Blue movies.
What are Blue movies?
What are Blue movies?
I think like DJ Glaze, like I like that one. DJ Glaze could open it for Steve Aoki.
DJ Glaze, hell yeah.
DJ Glaze sounds like a music video director, like in the early 2000s. Like he's like the rival of Hype Williams.
I'll say it. It sounds like a porn name.
No, okay.
DJ Glaze. Although it does sound like a DJ. Oh, Blue movies are pornos, bro.
Oh, I guess AJ Cruz knows better than us.
It's gotta be an old reference right there.
Blue movies?
Holy
the word blue.
Shit. Backdoor Sluts 9.
Is that one of your favorites?
No, it's from South Park, though.
Oh, okay. Sure it is. So the Raiders have a short week. Gardner Minshew is out for the year.
Yep.
And O'Connell, perfect timing, back coming off of AR with was it shoulder injury that he had before?
Yes.
So
the Chiefs stopper.
A fly just landed in my Bloody Mary.
Oh,
Gross.
man.
Is that going to ruin it for me? You bet your ass not. Wow. Yeah.
You ate a whole heap of horseradish at the start of this, and now you're going with a Bloody Mary with a fly.
Yeah. It'll be good for me. Can we play what Antonio Pierce said today in reference to the matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and Raiders on Black Friday?
Yeah, let's call it spade to spade, right? The best team in football against the worst team in football. Let's change the narrative, right? Let's go out there and make it a dog fight. Let's make it ugly. Let's make it scrappy. It's Black Friday. Let's create a little chaos. Let's get back to Raider football and have some fun and some personality. Let it loose.
I appreciate the honesty.
No, I appreciate the honesty, but I like how he was just going with a bunch of cliches and one of them that didn't make any sense. It's Black Friday. Let's play physical when Best Buy's got a sale on TVs. I like that. Hang on.
Yeah.
We'll play that one more time.
Watching, yeah.
Yeah, it's called spade to spade, right? The best team in football against the worst team in football. Let's change the narrative, right? Let's go out there and make it a dog fight. Let's make it ugly. Let's make it scrappy. It's Black Friday. Let's create a little chaos. Let's get back to Raider football and have some fun and some personality. Let it loose.
Yeah, no, because Antonio Pierce has seen those Black Friday videos. People are tearing each other's hair out to get nice TVs.
Black Friday. Let's act like
that's
Black Friday
that's how
shop.
we're going to treat this game. We're going to go out there and start ripping out hair of Patrick Mahomes. He's got a Head and Shoulders commercial. We're going to make it worse for him.
It's also some manufactured holiday, and Thanksgiving and Christmas actually have some meaning. So it makes sense to say, it's Thanksgiving. We gotta play hard. We gotta play fast. We gotta play physical. We gotta play scrappy. Or you say it even on Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. People are watching. You got to play fast. You got to play scrappy. Not on Black Friday though. You don't need to bring up that it's Black Friday. No one cares that it's Black Friday.
I think what he's saying there though is it's Black Friday. This is stupid. We have to play it a short week. I don't like that we have to play that early. So it is not directly, but fuck it. Let's go out there and this is what the season is.
Well, you know what? If he's taking a subtle jab at the NFL, keep him on as a coach for the next year. I like that.
No, thank you.
I like how there was a conversation about like whether his seat is hot. I'm like, Pierce's seat ain't hot.
That's scorching.
It's not even scorching. He don't have a seat anymore. He's just keeping it warm for whoever's next.
I don't know, man.
That's the only reason it's a hot seat is because he's keeping it warm. It's a warm seat.
I hope so. I really do. Because I wouldn't be surprised if he's fired, and I would not be surprised if they bring him back. We keep talking about Shedeur Sanders, and that seems like it's already set in stone that he's going to become a Raider, whether they get the first overall pick or whether Dion somehow manipulates the draft. But it sounds like Shedeur loves himself some Antonio Pierce. So I don't want that to be the factor of why he wants to go to the Raiders. But I do want to bring up, okay, so he's honest. Chiefs are the best team in football. Raiders are the worst team in football. Okay, you call a spade. I get it. You can't do that, though, and when you said in the offseason that you wrote the rules on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So now this has totally changed.
Yeah. Yeah. If Mark Davis needed any evidence as to why he shouldn't bring this guy back, it's that. You say all these things, you talk a big game, and nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And, look, I think Antonio Pierce is, I think he could be a good coach. I think he could be a good defensive guy. I think he's great to be a guy to coach the linebackers. A dude who can hype people up, maybe know some ins and outs about playing the position, but just being a head coach, man, it's just not the right gig for him. And I'm sorry to him. Feel bad for saying that because I know it's a lifelong dream, and it's why we were sold on him in the first place. Is because he's a kid that grew up in Compton, and now he's getting to coach the team that he grew up loving. But it's just, I think he's probably being honest with himself too. Like, it's just not the gig that he should sign up for. Maybe take something at a lower level first.
Well, I don't blame him for jumping at the opportunity.
No, of course not.
Was he dealt a dirty hand this year? That's hard to say. I think that a lot of guys, like Gerard Mayo, no matter what happens, I think he's sticking around as Patriots head coach. They knew what they were getting into. This year, it was kind of like, I don't know what to expect from the Raiders. From an 8-9 season, they could be okay. They could be building something. But then when you started to watch the team, you're like, damn, I mean, we all know the quarterback thing, but Devontae didn't want to be there. It kind of that's why I said to you, and me and Alon kind of had the same opinion when they agreed to him being head coach. I kind of think it's just, all right, Antonio, the fans want you. Max Crosby wants you. The team wants you. Let's see what you got this season. If you don't do it, then we'll get you out of here in one season. That's what I kind of see it as.
Yeah, just a one and done, just a trial run. It's not fair. It's not fair for Raider fans to have a head coach who's a trial run. But I at the same time, though, you heard me on this podcast. I was excited about it. I said you might as well give him a chance. But obviously, he's kind of blown that chance. So at least they went to the beach.
What's that?
At least they had fun at the beach that one practice. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, during training camp, they had to practice at the beach, and Max Crosby and Dylan Lawbay or whatever that 5th round, 6th round running back is, they were having fun, and I forgot what they called him. They had like a nickname for him. Oh, it looks like this team is they're gonna win on culture alone. Nah, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
At least they had fun though that day. It was fun. LA, get away.
That's when they went to training camp in LA and they weren't allowed to tell anybody.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. That was kind of weird too. So let's get this out of the way already. Good Lord. Friday's Black Friday game.
Yeah.
Raiders at Chiefs on Amazon Prime. Chiefs are 13-point favorites, over under 42.5.
Lay the points. Take the you know what? Aiden O'Connell, the Chiefs stopper. I'll take the over.
I'll lay the points with the Chiefs, but give me the under on a short week.
Just to let you know, people, if you take any of our bets seriously, just know that I haven't really been a showboat about it, but I have beaten Derek now 4 weeks straight. Brutal for the kid.
Yep. And just to let you know, we have a gambling sponsorship on the new Drive Time show, Tips and Picks. I wouldn't take any of my advice. All right, let's talk about the Niners. 38-10 loss.
No run first inning. Yes. That's what you should do.
38-10 loss to the Green Bay Packers. And I said this the other night when I was doing Sports Phone. Is anybody that, surprised when you don't have Brock Purdy, when you don't have Nick Bosa, when you don't have Trent Williams? Now, I will say, they didn't lose the game because Brandon Allen was starting. I didn't think Brandon Allen played awful. If you look at it, yes, he fumbled a couple times. The interception he threw, that's off of Debo's hands, and we'll get to Debo. But it was the defense. The defense couldn't stop a lick on the run. They needed to come out there and establish that they can stop Josh Jacobs, and right away they weren't able to do that. Same thing on offense. They needed to create something right away. Brandon Allen on that first drive fumbles. They recover it, but they needed to get something going. I truly believe, I know this is going to sound nuts, I truly believe if they were able to stop the run, they would have had a chance in that game. Because people hate Kyle Shanahan for whatever reason now. It's because they're losing. But I think that he schemed it up pretty well. Now, there were moments I didn't like. The 4th and 2 where they spread it out and they had McCaffrey in the slot, or out wide, I should say. Kyle's great at, scheming it up where you don't know if it's Debo, if it's McCaffrey getting the football. They're both in the backfield. Jordan Mason looks healthy. I would have had McCaffrey out a wide receiver and Jordan Mason in the backfield and kind of do something with that. You got to make it you got to put the defense on their toes a little bit more without Brock Purdy being there. The back-to-back 12 men on the field penalties, what the hell was that? I just, after a while, the Niners just gave it to the Packers, I believe. I thought, you guys know me. I am a big Jordan Love guy. I say Jordan Love over Brock Purdy. I was not impressed with Jordan Love whatsoever in this game. I thought that he was scared to throw. He was only comfortable when Josh Jacobs was out there or Romeo Doubs was out there. And he could have thrown 2 horrible interceptions, and he got bailed out in the end by his running game. I was not impressed by Jordan Love.
Well, he also could have had a dime of a touchdown if Watson catch the ball.
That is true too. I blame this on the defense. I do wonder what Brandon Staley kind of does with this team. I know it's Nick Sorensen as the defensive coordinator, but they didn't have Bosa out there. We find out today that Fred Warner's playing with a fractured ankle. Good for him. Good Lord. The Niners are 5-6, and they have the worst loss in the Kyle Shanahan era as far as the regular season, in my opinion.
And by way of points, that was their worst loss.
Fractured foot, I guess. Rocking Arizona.
No, it was in the ankle.
My bad.
They're framing it as a bone thing in his ankle, I think, right? Yeah,
okay.
Bone fracture in his ankle. That's intense.
You're wrong.
The defense has been an issue, and the defensive line, if Nick Bosa it shouldn't be the case that if Nick Bosa is gone, then they're just nothing. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go back to this. How can you spend a chunk of your offseason, at least on your salary cap in the offseason? How can you spend a decent chunk of it on defensive linemen like Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos, and you still can't stop anything without Nick Bosa? Leonard Floyd, I know, got to the quarterback a little bit, and maybe it's not really getting to the passer, which should be under scrutiny, but it's stopping the run. They didn't have a backup plan when their stars are hurt, and I think that's really been the, I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's been the bone fracture in their ankle equivalent, which is your star goes down, they don't have much depth. Teams play hurt with, I know a lot of guys were hurt in this game, but teams play hurt throughout the season and they're able to overcome it. Like the Packers played a couple of games without Jordan Love and managed, or 3 games without Jordan Love, I think, technically 2.5, and they were able to get a couple of wins. Granted, then I think they lost in both of the ones that he started to begin the year. What a weird season for the Packers. But
yeah,
they don't have depth anymore. And they were without Charvarius Ward. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think that the penalties were a bigger part of it for me. I know they couldn't stop the run in the first half, and Josh Jacobs was doing whatever he wanted. No one could get him down upon first touch. But the penalties were just setting them back drive after drive, and even the ones that shouldn't have been called. I thought that one on Eric Saubert was ridiculous. That should not have been a hold. But what can you do? The refs sometimes make a wrong call, and apparently 2 of them called him for a hold. So
holding, I mean, we can, dissect holding calls in each NFL game, in my opinion.
Right, for sure. But I think that one changed the momentum of the entire game.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You go into the half feeling all right, and then you come out of the half after that Debo return, and who knows? Maybe we're not talking about Debo the way we're talking about him today. It's a bunch of ifs and buts, and
candies and nuts.
And our old friend, if ifs and buts or candies and nuts, then we'd all have a happy Kwanzaa.
Okay, but to your point with Debo, last 2 weeks, I believe he's had a combined 5 catches for 43 yards. And great, he had a good return that was called back. But as a wide receiver, he's not cutting it.
Right.
So he's paid that money 2 years ago, and something's happening right now where unless he gets the ball in his hands, like I love the razzle-dazzle play that Kyle Shanahan had where it was 2 end-arounds and looked like a flea flicker, but then they throw a screen to Debo, he cuts up the field. But that was it for Debo. He is not doing well as a pure wide receiver right now, and you and I have always discussed that, where if we talk about the best pure wide receiver on this team, it's Brandon Ayuk. Debo Samuel is a monster with the ball in his hands, but you ask him to do a 5 and in, he has trouble in man coverage. The blueprint is out on the 49ers offense. People are taking the scheme that the Ravens defense did on Christmas Day and what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl and using it against these wide receivers, and they're not having success right now. And I think you and I would agree that Dieter Kurtenbach keeps bringing it up that there was a trade on the table for the Baltimore Ravens to get Debo Samuel for, I think, a 2nd-round pick, and the Niners said no. They would gladly take that right now. But you got to believe that they want him next year with the injury to Ayuk. So Debo needs to play better. He needs to lock in, as he would tell Jake Moody. I think the team is discombobulated, but I don't think they're done. And we can get to that more, Steven, if you want to. But sorry, I cut you off there when you were making your points.
Why don't you think they're done? Well, what do you mean they're not done?
Because if somebody in the NFC West was running away with the division right now, I would say, it's going to be an uphill battle for them. Now, as far as Super Bowl expectations, I think that goes out the window.
Well, then that's the thing. If the Super Bowl expectations are out the window, then the season's done. Because I think that was the expectation there. You know what I mean? Like yes. I get what you're saying with the NFC West, but I don't think anyone, not just Niner fans or the expert, I don't think they're taking any of the winners of the NFC West seriously in the postseason. Just not with how things have gone. I'd love to give the 49ers the benefit of the doubt, but man, they are not limping to the finish line. Like they're still in the middle of the race. Like they're still, they're on mile 20 and they're just sitting on the curb right now because they just can't get moving. You know what I mean? Like it's bad. And here's my thing. I'm kind of going back and forth, but you mentioned that Shanahan needs to play Jordan Mason more. He looks like he's more healthy, more explosive than McCaffrey.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but apparently you were right. That shoulder injury was preventing him from playing the last 2 games, and he was fully healthy in this last one.
Okay, gotcha. I just, is there like an idea that Shanahan is just, he's so stuck in his ways. He's like, no, we wrote this offense up, so it's just a one running back offense, and we'll bring in the other guy at a little later on. But if it's that complex, like, it's just bringing in another running back. It shouldn't have to be like that.
It's not that way. I don't know why he's doing this. I think he has that much faith in McCaffrey that he wants to do that. But I've seen him do 3-headed monster running back, tandems before. Not tandems, sorry, but trios. I mean, yes, it was all dependent on who was going to eat that day. But 2019, it was Matt Breida, it was Tevin Coleman, it was Raheem Mostert. And Raheem Mostert was more of a special teams guy back then. But yeah, he knew how to plug and play the running backs. It's just, this is the first time, I think, in a long time where he's had a superstar running back that he feels comfortable giving him the ball, but he's not running well right now. He's not the same Christian McCaffrey. I think you do need to spell him a lot more. So, yeah, just going back to if they're done or not, I hear you. I think you could probably pencil in a loss that they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills this week. Matt Milano coming back too, it sounds like. And it's going to snow heavily in Buffalo.
Snowstorms, 26 degrees, the low for Sunday night.
It's going to be cold. Hold me, T-Rock.
I'm warming you up, Craig. Dude, you should have heard him on that Eric Saubert holding call.
Oh, yeah. The backstory there, my dad said on the radio, Chris Babcock, the statistician, good dude, coached at Monte Vista. He mouths to Tim Ryan, it's a hold. And Tim Ryan on the broadcast goes, it's not a hold. That is not a hold.
Yeah. He's like, look, I don't know. His hands are in, I guess if his hands were outside the pads and he was throwing the jersey down, but the hands are inside the pads, calling it a hold is garbage. Made me laugh, dude.
Tim is fantastic. He's a beauty.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as them going forward, I'm not going to say they're done because even at 5-7, I'm not going to say they're going to run the table, but you kind of look at it and maybe they can. I think they have the Bears after that. They have the Rams. They go to Miami. They play the Lions at home, and who knows if the Lions wrap up home field by that point, and then they play the Arizona Cardinals the last week of the season. If I had to say right now who's the best team in that division, God, gun to my head, I would say the Arizona Cardinals, but I hated the way they looked last week against the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm not ready to say they're done as far as they're not making the playoffs. Now, if they run the table and go 10-7, yeah, cool. NFC West Division champions. Do they play the Green Bay Packers the first wild card weekend? I would probably take the Packers. I don't see them making a playoff run. But then again, they're a team that has been tested in the postseason. So I would say hold your horses on the season, like sticking a fork in it, it's done. But yes, I think we all agree, and I think Niner fans agree, especially AJ Cruz, who called me out on when I was doing Sports Phone. The math ain't mathin'. I hear you. But to expect a Super Bowl run, I don't think that's happened this year. And I don't think it's a bad thing to realize the deficiencies of this team and kind of just reset a little bit.
I hear you, but I don't think they have a chance to reset next year.
Why not?
They're not going to pay Charvarius Ward. Dre Greenlaw's a free agent. Brock Purdy's going to be getting the big money deal. I think their time has kind of passed. While teams are on the up and up, it's just it felt like last year was the chance to win if they were going to do it.
Okay, I hear you on that one, but that's you're doing a whole change here where you said the window was like this is the last dance, the window's closing. You think it is done now?
Yeah.
Why? Okay, I hear you on some things. Charvarius Ward,
I guess
yeah,
the
go ahead.
way that I'd put it is they aren't going to be favorites to win the Super Bowl. That window's passed.
Okay.
I think that's more what I mean, because any chance that can get into the playoffs has a chance to win the Super Bowl. But the 49ers, I think the window where they are NFC favorites and they're going to demolish every team, I think that's gone. I think that's totally gone. And
Yeah.
I also got to be honest. I know there's a shoulder injury, but I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. I think he is, but I don't
not a
know.
great one.
I don't know if he's going to be that guy. I don't know. Like I hear everyone who says what's the famous one that I've heard? If you don't think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, then you don't watch football. No, I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't know what he's going to look like without the Avengers. Like, I really don't.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that one. I think at the end of the day, though, with the way the market is, you're going to have to pay him. Does it need to be astounding? No, but you can give him 62, or maybe even just 60.
I think he's done enough for that, because it's kind of the way I view the head coach. Seems like you found your guy.
Yeah, I mean,
what are your other options?
He's definitely the guy going forward, and he's just hurt right now. And to give you an update, he was limited in practice today. No Nick Bosa, also no Trent Williams. So it's not looking good for Buffalo. And he may play on Sunday, Brock Purdy, but if it's not him, it's Brandon Allen again. And I understand why they want to go with Brandon Allen, because he can run the offense. I hear you, Steven, that we kind of value Josh Dobbs a little bit more because we've seen him. But I also think he can make more plays. And I think that Kyle needs to get unconventional and just go with a guy that can maybe just pull the game out of his ass. That's Josh Dobbs. I'm not saying he's a spectacular quarterback by any means, but we've seen it before where he won a game last year with the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Dallas Cowboys, who were a playoff team. He won some games as the Minnesota Vikings quarterback. He's not spectacular, but he can win you a game. So, yeah, they got some decisions to make next season. I think that they're going to let Charvarius Ward go, and he's dealing with a whole lot right now with the death of his daughter, which was a terrible situation. I don't think Talanoa Hufunga's coming back. Dre Greenlaw, you can make an honest argument to say, why come back now? He needs to play for his own benefit to get some tape out there for free agency. Now, he may cash in either way, but when you don't play for a whole year, people forget about you. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting next season.
It will be, man. I just think, the window's passed where they're the dominant cream of the crop in the NFC.
Yeah, I can't say that yet, but I hear you. It does kind of seem that way.
The league changes so much. Who knows? Like the league changes year after year. I don't know if the Lions are going to keep this up. I don't know if the Packers are going to keep this up. Seems like the Bears are kind of on the up and up. A lot of it also depends on what they do in the future too.
Yeah.
But if the 49ers continue to draft the way that they're drafting, Dominic Pooty probably had his worst game as a rookie, but that's saying something.
The Poon?
The Poon man. when you're up at week 12, that's saying something. Obviously Malik Mustafa looks great. Jair Brown, I think the jury's still out on him. Jair Brown's kind of shown he can make tackles, but I just kind of goes invisible sometimes.
Invisible to John Gruden. Did you see his latest Nicey video?
Ran through some 49er. Yeah.
He's not even worthy of John Gruden giving him a name.
Yeah.
You see Josh Jacobs ran through that 49ers free safety? Look like a freight train out there.
Can I be honest? I'm losing the Gruden. Losing the Gruden impression. I'm losing it, dude.
Oh, you're losing it?
I'm losing it. I feel like it's lost.
Dude, I need you for the show. What are you doing?
I know. I feel like Austin Powers and his mojo.
You lost your Gruden mojo?
I feel like my John Gruden impression's in like a vial somewhere, and I need to get it back.
No, let me hear it.
I can't do it. I can't do it on demand. I don't want to try it out on the podcast. I have to do it by myself first.
Well, that sounds sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean? How do you, people ask me all the time, how do you do these impressions when I do them? I'm like, because when I'm home by myself, I will do these impressions for like an hour straight. And I'll talk that way.
And
Just doing what I'm doing.
I'm sure Jesse from the other room is like, please stop.
No, Jesse was way past. I haven't done it much since I've been with Jesse, but yes, exactly. I'm getting the Gruden yips, dude.
Yeah.
I put this plate in the dishwasher, man, and Spider 2, why plate in the slot? Like, I don't know, dude. It's gone. It feels like it's gone.
It's just because you haven't polished it out in a while. Like
it's been a long time.
Like I remember when everything went down with the emails and you were like, I've retired the impression. So you haven't like done it enough. Like I remember back in the day, it was like a weekly thing on the Truth Machine where I asked you to do a Gruden voice.
Yes.
Yeah, so you had good reps.
Yes.
But
true.
But, okay. Well, it's all good, baby. People make comebacks.
I still got my James Stewart though. Harry, what are you doing? Harry.
Yeah, the kids are really clamoring for a James Stewart impression these days.
Well, I work for KCBS. Harry, Harry, what are you doing? Harry.
Oh, Sally. You lost your robe. I could sell tickets here.
Hermione. Oh, Hermione, you look dashing in that dress walking down the stairs. Hey, do you think the Great Hall has a swimming pool in the middle of it? Oh, I like it. I like a dance floor with a swimming pool that opens up.
So do you do your updates with the Jimmy Stewart voice?
No, of course not.
Okay, well, you should.
I'm more doing it for the podcast so I could clip something out and maybe post something later.
There you go. That'll get the attention of the kids these days. Everybody loves a good Jimmy Stewart TikTok.
Who doesn't?
Real quick before we go around AJ Cruz. What the hell's going on right now? Real quick before we go around the league with quick hits. Daniel Jones did not want to go to the Raiders. I don't blame him, but I will say, do you want to start? Because that probably would have been your best position to start. The Raiders wanted Daniel Jones. He said, no, thank you. Now, if it was just to go on their practice squad, I totally get that. If it was the ability to start in games, then yeah, Daniel Jones should have probably went for that opportunity. And then there was, I guess, Jeremy Fowler said this morning that the Niners are somewhat interested in Daniel Jones. In the end, he signs with the Minnesota Vikings. And I think that makes sense because Nick Mullins is a pretty good backup. But if Sam Darnold ever went down, you're like, I don't know about Nick Mullins going forward. So Daniel Jones is a pretty good backup option. And the irony is Daniel Jones beat the Minnesota Vikings in the wildcard game 2 years ago. I don't think he's going to stay with the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe. But if I had to guess, they may bring back Sam Darnold. They'll go into the season with a quarterback competition between Sam and J.J. McCarthy. And then Daniel Jones will have to find a new home to be a backup next season. But, yeah, I think that's a pretty good landing spot for Daniel Jones.
I think it's fine. I didn't really make too much of it.
Yeah, he's a backup quarterback in this league now.
Yeah, like it's Daniel Jones we're talking about. Do we need 6 different graphics made just because a backup is going to be a backup somewhere?
Well, not only that, how about I love when my man Jordan Schultz is usually the guy to get the scoop first these days. And I wonder who he's paying off. But he was the first one to get it. Then it was Rappaport. And then Adam Schefter, you could tell the other insiders hate this guy because he didn't come up the same way they did. They probably don't think like Jordan Schultz, this YouTuber, this social media basketball dude, now he's in our territory. The way that Adam Schefter reported it today, God, it was like it was such a backhanded thing to Jordan Schultz, if I could find it. Hey, bear with me here for a second. It was almost like Adam Schefter has a hard time giving people credit when he reports stuff. But him today was with just Jordan Schultz. It wasn't like as first reported by Jordan Schultz. It was Jordan Schultz also reports. Like, oh yeah, here it is. Former Giants QB Daniel Jones is signing with the Vikings, as Jordan Schultz also reported. Not like he had the first report. It's this clown is also reporting this too. He gave him a little bit of credit, but not like you're the first one on the scene with the information. And I love how, like, I think Diana Rossini's a great reporter, but she's usually a little late to the game. And she just sends a tweet out saying, this has happened. I think it's important, like, when you're an insider, it's like, take the L. You don't need, just because you're a very prominent reporter doesn't mean that you have to tweet something out. By all means, tweet a stat out that goes along with the news. But just to be like, yep, Daniel Jones signs with the Vikings. You're late to the game already. You're too late. It's over. Good day for you, sir.
You really looked into this, didn't you?
I care about this stuff way too much.
Yeah, it's like, my God, man. I would have a rebuttal or an opinion here, but can't tell you that I was looking inside the report. This isn't the Shams versus Woj thing. I was keeping track on that, but I haven't really kept track with the NFL guys. Wow.
Well, there is no, I mean, okay, like what would you say is the biggest rivalry? It's Rappaport versus Schefter?
I don't even think that's a rivalry. I think it's Schefter and everyone else.
Well, Ian has some scoops that go before Schefter.
Sometimes I even think Tom Pelissero has better scoops than
Well,
Ian Rappaport does.
I think that NFL Network has the Avengers of insiders with Rappaport, Pelissero, and Garofolo, and they team up together. Schefter's on an island by himself. He's not buddies with Jeremy Fowler or who's my guy that's always in Miami? What's his name? Jeff Darlington. It's the three wise men of Rappaport, Pelissero, Garofolo, and Schefter's like, no, it's my game. I don't care if I'm having sex with somebody. I'm breaking a story.
Just as long as it's done afterwards.
Do we talk about that on this podcast?
No, I'd rather not talk about Schefter breaking a story after he had sex. I don't need that.
It was, I mean, my joke always is, well, he's a real insider.
Where are my sources?
That's his finishing line. With Schefter, I think that was his way of being like, well, I was with a woman. That was like his way of being like, hey, Kevin Clark. I think that's the guy he was talking to.
Yeah.
I've had sex before.
It's gross, man.
Yeah, it was awkward.
I don't know. Right. I'm past that phase now, you know? Like, remember that? Like when you were in like your late teens, early 20s, and like even when I first started working at 95.7 The Game, you'd always be talking about like the exploits that anyone had. I'm not saying you specifically, but you'd hear that. And there's just sometimes where
by all means, Steven, talk me up.
Maybe it's actually I kind of was feeling that way at the time. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear stories of the sexcapades that you've had in your previous life. And maybe I'm just speaking of one former employee who you used to live with once, who did not have a filter.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say some hosts.
No, nothing with the hosts. The hosts, not really anything with the hosts. It's more behind the scenes people.
Oh, I can name some names that want to relive their glory days.
Yeah.
When I was your age, I was tapping everything.
No, I don't. Okay, yeah, we done.
All right, moving on here. Quick hits. That's a tease, ladies and gentlemen. All right, week 12. I was a fool to take the New York Giants against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
This guy might be a PR move in itself to get the paisanos of the New York Giants fan base into the games. Because I want to say at one point, and I'm surprised this isn't being talked about enough. Maybe I misinterpreted the situation. Tommy DeVito must have got hurt or whatever, but Drew Lock came into the game at one point and then was pulled, and then Tommy DeVito went back into the game. Do they just want to lose? Is Brian Daboll, is he trying to save his job? I don't know what the hell's going on there unless he got, a vote of confidence from John Mara that he's there. But, what the hell's going on there? Tommy DeVito cannot play. And Drew Lock, not a great quarterback, but I would play him over Tommy DeVito at this point. I don't understand that one. And real quick, Baker Mayfield. I love the celebration, but you, sir, are not Italian, my friend. You are doing way too much with this. It's just if you just went slower with this celebration is way too fast. Is this Gruden?
He jumps over bodies for a touchdown. Then he's downfield as a lead blocker. 11 different receivers. And I love this thing he does. I'm working on it.
This goes back to my Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Let Italians be Italian. The non-Italian guys, you're doing too fucking much. It's just this. It's this. You don't need to do all this. It's just this.
What about the guy going back to Dayton?
Different receivers. And I love this thing he does. I'm working on it.
You guys are doing too much.
Number 3 on the Gruden's Grinders, man.
Oh, he's got a top 10 list or whatever. It's like a top 5 list?
Yeah. It's top 10. Top
Gotcha.
10.
Oh, top 10. Okay, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers put up a fight against the Chiefs. Yeah, good for Bryce Young. He's probably gonna. I don't know. Evaluation for the next couple games here. We'll see if he sticks around. And Chiefs barely win that game, but they're going to be tested the next few weeks here. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose some games here.
Bryce Young's looking good. I actually think the Panthers could be a sneaky team to watch next year if they do the right things this offseason.
I'm with you on that one. Dolphins are so much better with Tua, and he definitely has his faults. I mean, you and I talk about it. Against the good teams, he's not great. Against teams on the road and the different the climate of when it gets cold, he's not great. He could be a 1-read quarterback at times, but he got the job done against the New England Patriots, and they're looking like a different team with him at starting quarterback.
They're healthy.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing with the Dolphins. They're healthy. They've been without Jalen Waddle at some times. They obviously has missed Tyreek, or they haven't missed Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill has been on a milk carton without Tua. So, yeah, man, he's such an important piece to that team. It's like, as far as quarterbacks go, I mean, I think there are some that can survive with a backup, but the Dolphins clearly can't. And I think that's, if anything, that should validate his contract more than some other stuff that he does on the field. It's when he's not on the field. It's like, okay, we paid this guy this amount of money. Yeah, we need him.
Wait, what is this? Is Papa afraid of birds? Is that why he has netting up around his patio from True Blue? How do you know I have netting on my patio, True Blue?
You have netting on your patio?
It's just like my mom's backyard. There's netting. There's birds.
Well, it's not the birds that you got to be afraid of. He's in Florida right now. This is Boca Vista.
These gators will get me, man.
Yeah, you iguana.
Gator. No, I'm with you. I think that Tua is earning his money and the fact that they need him to succeed. But they also need a backup quarterback next year. Like, that'd be a good spot for Daniel Jones too.
Yep.
All right, the Lions. Back-to-back weeks where they give up 6 points, and they haven't played the most high-flying of offenses. But to me right now, I mean, dude, they right now, I believe, are the second highest scoring offense in football and the second scoring defense in all of football without Aiden Hutchinson. And they are not as prolific as a passing offense. If anything, they're more of a running offense. This team is the closest thing I've seen to the 99 Rams Greatest Show on Turf, where they just bludgeon you with their offense, and then you try to get back in the game by passing, and they'll just sick the dogs on you like Zadarius Smith, and it's easy for them. And they play most of their games in a dome. Yeah, I think this team, I mean, last year at this time, we were shocked when Jordan Love came in on Thanksgiving Day and beat them. But I would be surprised if this team doesn't wrap up the number 1 seed pretty soon here.
The reason a lot of people laughed at the Lions for taking Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round is solely because he was a first-round pick. But he's just proving game after game. What do they call him? Sonic and Knuckles? That's the duo now for David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
I kind of like that. I actually kind of like that. So the other day they were interviewing Jared Goff, and they're like, so if there's Sonic and Knuckles, who are you? I was like, that's easy. He's Shadow.
Did he know that?
Probably not. But if you watch the new Sonic 3 trailer, it's the new villain is Keanu Reeves, and he's the
boy. Yeah. The new Sonic 3 trailer.
I'll
get right on that, Derek.
I get bored sometimes. Okay, dude, don't act like you're all high and mighty, like you don't watch random YouTube movie trailers.
I absolutely do.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
Huh.
This was surprising. The Titans upset the Texans 32-27. CJ Stroud is slumping. He's having a sophomore slump. Now, not to say that he's not going to be a good quarterback by any means, but he's throwing more picks. He's uncomfortable with his offensive line. He doesn't have Stephon Diggs. Will Levis, despite throwing that really bad interception to Jimmy Ward, he had a really good game. And the Texans had 7 sacks in that game. I think there was something like that.
Yeah.
And the running game was not going for the Texans. Texans right now, to me, they're going to be a playoff team, but they are your equivalent of who's ever going to win the NFC West. They'll be your 4th seed, and I don't know if they're going to make a deep playoff run.
No, and CJ Stroud, a lot of things are correctable, but good God, get that man an offensive line.
Yeah,
like I truly think a quarterback specifically, who's shown like CJ Stroud that he has talent. I mean, even this season, we've seen him make some tight window throws. Also, some really dumb plays as well. Like there's an interception he had in the last game which was just boneheaded. But I think there's a lot of fixable things. But it's number one, the offensive line, and a quarterback's mindset, I think, totally changes when he doesn't have the offensive line around him. When he feels like he's going to get chased, he feels like he has to force plays. No, you let him sit in the pocket and have the peace of mind that you're not going to get pressured on every single snap. I think that's a big problem with the 49ers in that last game is you're not out there with Trent Williams. Like, this offensive line hasn't been good, at least in terms of pass blocking this year. Just changes everything, man. If you have a good offensive line, like that's another thing I bring up to it. If a lot of ifs, if the defense stopped Josh Jacobs, if they limited the penalties, and if they had an offensive line that could actually protect, who knows what it would have looked like. Yeah. So that's got to be the move there. God, the Texans are lucky, though. Texans are lucky that this is the worst that they could do, and they still got a starting quarterback.
Jesse, I don't care for this. Can we make a Titans counter now that Derek isn't swearing? I don't think I've sworn that much on this podcast lately. And I think I said Titans last time I said that.
Yeah.
And okay, hold on, Tacky. Derek isn't swearing anymore. I'm gonna swear. Relax, everybody. All right, calm your tits. I'm gonna swear on this thing. I just need proper, practice so I don't say these things on the radio.
Fair enough.
All right, thank you. Are the Vikings the most sneaky 9-2 team you've ever seen?
It's one of them.
Yeah,
it's one of them.
They were lucky to win that game against the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams playing better, but they're not going to be the best teams in this league, and I think it's only a matter of time before they fire Matt Eberflus. I could see them fire him after the Thanksgiving game against the Lions this week. So, yeah, and the Vikings are a really good team. Just Sam Darnold needs to cut down on the turnovers, which he has in the last few weeks. But, yeah, no, I think Vikings, I don't know if they're going to win the division, but that NFC North right now is a mother, and it's a good three-headed race right now.
Well, I think the only way that the Vikings are going to do anything in the playoffs is if Aaron Jones goes nuclear. I just don't think they're going to win with Sam Darnold alone if he's going to be the guy. And I heard what Justin Jefferson said, where he's like, look, if it's not me, then it's the other guys. But if it's not the other guys, I'm going to be the one to take over. I don't think that's the mindset you can have when you're going into the playoffs. There's a reason why not a lot of teams with a number one wide receiver, a top 5 receiver in the NFL, automatically get to the Super Bowl because it takes a team effort. And I think that Jefferson, even though he's probably the best receiver in the league, still has to learn that. And I'm very interested to see what they do in the playoffs this year.
The Commanders don't seem to be as for real as we thought. 3 losses in a row. I think they'll be a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to be a team that you fear in the postseason. They're young and upcoming. They got a rookie quarterback and a new head coach. And they shouldn't have won this game by any means. Like, they were going to pull a win out of their ass if they were able to kick that extra point that Seibert missed. I mean, that was crazy. For them to come back in that game and to have almost similar to like a Stephon Diggs walk-off touchdown in the playoffs where Terry McLaurin catches that pass and goes through a maze and scores. That was incredible. Almost as incredible as the Hail Mary a couple weeks ago against the Bears. But then to miss the extra point, That reminded me of, I don't know if you remember this, Steven. Do you remember when the Jacksonville Jaguars were playing the New Orleans Saints, and they had like a bunch of laterals, the Saints did, with no time left, and they scored with on a walk-off lateral TD. The Saints did, and they missed the extra point to lose the game.
I don't remember that.
This was like 20 years ago. That's what that reminded me of. Like Terry McLaurin scores a touchdown. You're like, oh my God, how could the Cowboys allow that? And then Cyber misses the extra point. It was like, holy shit. And then, this is where I'm the guy that says go down. I think his name is Wuhan Thomas, the guy that recovers the onside kick and scores.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that this guy may never get another touchdown in the NFL. Totally understand that. But you got to fall down. The game was over. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm just glad that this one gave us a highlight reel with the Benny Hill theme music, because that's what it looked like with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Just two teams that stunk in this game. And, it also speaks to the importance of kickers. But yeah, there was the Benny Hill montage, which gave me life one day.
Seahawks take back the NFC West with their win over the Cardinals. Kind of surprised by that one. I thought that the Cardinals would put up more of a fight coming off their bye week, but they did nothing offensively. And Kyler Murray kind of reverting back to his old ways. You remember the pick six he threw in that playoff game against the Rams, where when he's in his own end zone, he throws it up in the air, and Jordan Fuller caught it. That's kind of how I felt about the pick six he threw. It was a fourth down play. You got to make something happen, but he just threw the ball up in the air, and then Kobe Bryant catches the pick and runs it back. By the way, what do you think about a guy being named Kobe Bryant?
It's fine.
Kind of crazy.
A little bit. But I think he was born before, Kobe Bryant had that terrible tragedy happen.
No doubt. Of course he was. He wasn't born 4 years ago, Steven.
Just saying.
But to me, it's like, this kid better be good. You just said it, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember this, but like the Miami Dolphins had a running back named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't told Jessie this yet, and I know she's listening, but if and when we do have a future child, if it is a boy, no, we are calling that boy LeBron James Langford. LeBron, first name, middle name James, last name Langford.
Because he means so much to you.
Correct.
Why not like somebody you actually like I don't know. Like,
Greg Ostertag Langford.
Who?
Greg Ostertag.
Who the hell's that?
One of the worst basketball players of all time.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. Damn right you don't.
Well, not even like Steph Curry Langford.
Nah, Steph is that's too high a bar.
Okay, what about who's the guy you really like?
Louis Amundsen Langford.
Okay, what about my guy? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now. Long snapper for the Raiders back in the day.
Oh, John Kondo.
John Kondo Langford.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I'd go John Kondo Langford, but I think I might go with his nickname, Anacondo Langford.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
No, if it's a girl, we'll call her Anna Kondo.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I like that a lot.
Back to the Cardinals thing. You know how we say this thing about Kyle Shanahan? If his team's not up by 2 scores, then likely going to lose if it's a close game because he can't manage his way out of the end. I think there's something similar to that with Kyler Murray. If things aren't rolling for the offense where they've got a clear advantage, a clear edge over the defense, then I think just things start to unravel for him. And the Seahawks defense really got to him. Leonard Williams was fantastic in this game. And I think that when things are going well, when things are rolling, Cardinals are as good as anyone in the NFL in terms of offense, but defense, nah. If the defense has his number, he can't make something out of nothing. And I think that's like the biggest issue that he has. I'm seeing the Jesse chat right now.
This is an all-time comment.
We'll get back on birth control.
Well done, Jesse. Well done. By the way, Taggy here. Derek growing out his hair for the new gig? Not at all. Me and Michael Connell have been filming a new promo video that will come out the day of the new show. In order to keep things, what's the word? Like to keep things, to not look crazy where I have hair one moment and not hair the next scene. I had to not shave anything. So
wow,
yeah.
Continuity.
Yes, continuity. Yes, there you go. Okay, lastly, the last two games. The LA home team's getting run over by the visiting teams. The Eagles run all over the LA Rams with Saquon Barkley. They win that game 37-20. Saquon, I mean, right now I think it's between him and Derrick Henry for the rushing title. And yeah, just the Eagles are the better team right now. Rams, I think, could still win the NFC West if they, get their shit together. Did you watch this game intently, Steven, or not really?
I mean, I had it on in the background. I didn't watch it.
Did you notice when Nick Sirianni, this was very interesting to me. There was a third down play. It was 3rd and 3. And the Rams, I believe, were called for holding on that play. But the Eagles declined. Nick Sirianni declined the penalty, and it became 4th and 3. They were in the Rams territory, the Eagles territory, and the Rams decided to go for it on 4th and 3. It was a long amount of time, and then Nick Sirianni changed his mind and said, "You know what? Fuck that. 4th and 3? No, we accept the penalty." And they changed it. They changed it to a 3rd and 13, and then the Rams get sacked. They go to Chris Collinsworth. He's like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. I like the strategy by Nick Sirianni, but I agree you should not be allowed to do that.
So he accepted it, then he declined it.
No. He declined it at first.
Declined
and then accepted the penalty when he realized the Rams were going to go for it on 4th and 3.
Yeah, how the hell is that allowed?
Apparently, you're allowed to do it.
Huh. Wow,
but I don't think it should be. I think that you should, when you say you're declining a penalty, that's it. You're done.
Yeah. No takebacks.
Yeah, no, don't give you back.
Do-overs in life, Sirianni.
No. I don't blame him, though. If you're allowed to do it, by all means, do it.
Good on him for finding a loophole.
Yes, he needs it. And then finally...
Whoa. Now, I know the Eagles ran all over him. I know they didn't stop Saquon. But in a weird way, like I do think the Rams, to be honest, at this point, I think they're the best team in the NFC West just because of the way their quarterback has been able to play. Not so much with this last game, but I still thought he looked okay. His offensive line didn't really give him much protection. But I just think they're the most complete team in the NFC right now. The defense has come along a little bit. Jared Verse has been awesome, and he's been getting better each week. Kyron Williams has remained healthy. Obviously, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are huge. I just think, like, if there's any team that's going to do something in these playoffs, it feels, if they're as representatives from the West, I'd say it's going to be the Rams, at least from the NFC West. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. This Sunday night game wasn't a great example, but it just feels like if you're going to take any team out of that division, thinking of the flaws, I think the Seahawks are flawed with their quarterback. I don't really trust Geno Smith that much anymore, and their receiving game's good, and their defense is good as well. But I just trust the Rams more. Maybe it's just because Stafford's under center.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because of the quarterback and the experience that he has.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that one, Steven. And then lastly, the Monday night game, the horrible two brothers. Derrick Henry runs all over the Chargers. Quentin Johnston has a horrible game.
Yeah.
Reverts back to his rookie year. And yeah, I don't think that it's really that big of an indictment on the Chargers. I think that they've had a really good season, but they're not going to be that team that's going to make a run in the postseason, I believe. I think the Ravens, they have a good formula right now. I still don't love their pass defense, but they can run the football. We haven't talked about this enough. They are the number one passing offense in football and the number one rushing offense in football. That is very hard to do. So, yeah, I think that they're an offensive juggernaut right now. But as far as defense, I wonder about them. But, yeah, I think that really, really fun game to watch. And I don't think that you could, I don't think that you can really buy either team that much going forward. I just think that the Ravens are the better football team right now.
I feel for Jim.
Can never be John.
Just can't beat him. Can't beat him. I love how John counts a preseason game into his record against Jim, by the way.
Now those counts.
Technically, he's 3-0, but he says he's 4-0 because he counts the preseason.
Yeah.
Look, dude, the Ravens were just the better team. I don't really know how else to describe it. And Herbert, I kind of stopped watching this game when you could see it getting out of reach. I was like, this might be interesting. And Jesse's like, she's asking me if I wanted to keep watching it or wanted to turn on a little bit of Harry Potter. Then the Ravens went up by 2 scores, and I'm like, all right, let's turn on Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter. But at the end of the day, the Ravens are primed here to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl while the Chargers are still building. I don't think there's much to draw from this game. I just feel bad for Jim, man. I'm a younger brother. Can't imagine what it's like to lose to the older brother at the NFL level. You heard my brother at the wedding. He's, at one point, I was better than him. That's what he said at the wedding. He was being nice. But I was superior in every way. Except, he's got more money. He's got a family, fairly successful overall in life.
Yeah.
But if we're talking football in the front yard, kick his ass.
And I think that's all that matters in the end, Steven.
I caught up to his curveball. That was the thing. Caught up to it. Caught up to the off speed.
That actually was one of the more powerful moments of the whole ceremony was your older brother saying, he's better than me.
Oh. Didn't expect him to say that.
And also, like Jim, it would have hit home way better if in the post game he was like, I said what I said coming into this game, and in the end, my older brother kicked me in the shin, and that's what happened.
That would have been a great full circle moment.
Yep. All right, real quick before we get out of here and we kind of talk about Thanksgiving, let's pick these games on Thanksgiving. We got 3 games to choose from. Let's start with the Bears and Lions, kicking things off at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow. Lions are 9.5-point favorites, over under 47.5.
I am going to lay the points with the Lions. They know they're in the national spotlight, but I'll take the over. Maybe some interesting things could happen, and I don't know if it's going to be the Bears necessarily. I just think the Lions' offense is going to go run all over them, and then maybe that defense can get a score.
Okay. All right. I'll lay the points with the Lions as well, but I'll go under on the 47.5. Then, oh boy, we got to listen to Tom Brady and watch this game. I don't know if Tommy DeVito was playing in this game. It may lean in the direction of Drew Lock.
Said he's a long shot. That was the last we heard of
Oh,
him.
really? Okay. Then it probably would be Drew Lock versus Cooper Rush. Cowboys favored by 3.5, over under 37.5. Oof.
I'll take the over, but I'll take the Giants to win. Giants with Locke. Locke's been waiting for his opportunity.
Yeah, he'll wrap some young Jeezy in this game and steal the heart of America.
Yeah. Don't let the line fool you. The Cowboys are not a good team. I'll take the Giants. Giants suck, but I just don't think the Cowboys are 3.5-point favorite. Good.
No, I hear you. I'll take the Cowboys to win. I'll lay the points with them. I'll go under on the 37.5. And then we got the Dolphins playing the Packers. Packers favored by 3.5, over under 47.5. No Romeo Doubs, no Jair Alexander for the Packers.
I think the Jair Alexander one is big. I'll lay the points with the Dolphins. I'll take the Dolphins to pull off the upset.
Ooh.
And I will take the over.
I'll go with the Packers and lay the points with them. I'll go under on the 47.5.
Ooh.
Going under on all 3 games. And all 4 games, actually, with the Raiders and Chiefs. Sorry. Yeah, it's a short week, Steve. What do you expect?
No, that was all just a fan.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay, speaking of that, all right. Let's do a little Thanksgiving draft because that's what everybody does this time of year on podcasts or radio shows. By the way, are you a fan of the Adam Sandler song, the Thanksgiving song? It's kind of an underrated one.
Sure.
Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe. It's not one of his best.
Nice.
All right, I'll give you the first pick, Steven. Where do you go when it comes to Thanksgiving meals? You're like number one pick.
Oh. It's a tough one, Derek. It's a tough one because, to be honest, I think Thanksgiving meals are okay. I don't think there's a lot in there to write home about.
Do you like turkey?
Yeah, I'm good with turkey. I think that's just a social media made up thing that people just stopped liking turkey after all of a sudden.
But we only eat it on Thanksgiving. But that's like, it's tradition. You have to eat turkey.
Yeah, but it's also those things don't get sold at grocery stores at a rate that they're getting sold. Like
Right.
no one wants to thaw a turkey out for 3 days before you have to season it and brine it and do all those different things. That's way too much work. So I get it. But we eat turkey all the time. We eat the oven roasted turkey, whatever goes into a sandwich.
Yeah.
But this is an unpopular pick. Number one, give me the best mashed potatoes possible. I know you can eat mashed potatoes anytime, but it tastes different on Thanksgiving. Give me mashed potatoes number one, but they have to be good.
Okay. I'll go with turkey because it's not Thanksgiving without turkey. You gotta and I'm with you too. Like, people, if you go the Little Richard route from the Geico commercials, mashed potatoes, gravy, and cranberry sauce. Woo! Turkey, you need to have turkey on Thanksgiving. But I do get like the alternatives. Fried turkey. Like my little brother wants to do steaks tomorrow. I'm cool with steaks. Brisket, I'm all good with that. But yeah, turkey's a staple on Thanksgiving. You got to have turkey.
All right.
It just needs to be, and if people hate this word, but I'm going to say it, it's got to be moist. You got to have a moist turkey. You can't have a dry turkey. You can't have the, Clark Griswold. You just, cut into it and poof, it's dry as hell, dry to the bone. It needs to be lathered in. I guess the key is mayonnaise or some kind of thing where you make it a little more moist.
That's the piece of advice that I gave you.
Oh, did you tell me that?
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Mayo on the turkey. It's not a bad idea. I've never cooked a turkey before, but this was corroborated by Kevin Bacon.
Oh.
Who would know more about turkey than Bacon?
I guess so. Is Kevin Bacon like a connoisseur when it comes to turkeys?
I'd imagine he's a good cook.
Is this in a movie or just like an interview where he did?
It was a sit-down interview, a late night.
Okay.
Yeah, people don't believe me here, but if you're making a roast chicken, I'm assuming it's the same with a roast turkey. Lather it with mayonnaise. Just it doesn't have to be a lot, but enough to cover it up. And trust me, like I know it doesn't make any sense at first. Like I imagine this reaction, like I'm getting from Mayo. What the fuck, AJ Cruz?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
No, I totally understand you got to get moist. And True Blue brings up a good point here. Isn't Kevin Bacon vegetarian?
Is he?
He might be.
What a disappointment.
Yeah, that's misleading.
All right, second pick. I get stuffing. The fuck, dude. Stuffing has to be the number one, but I took mashed potatoes.
I think stuffing's a little overrated.
Really?
Not a big stuffing guy. Not a big yam guy. Our friend Elena loves yams. I'm not really big into the whole Thanksgiving traditional meal stuff. Like my favorite thing to do is the next day is to get the dinner rolls and make a whole sandwich out of the thing. The turkey, whatever meat you got. Not a huge stuffing guy. If I had to go with my second pick, I'm going with baked potato. I know people love mashed potatoes. I'm a baked potato type of dude on Thanksgiving.
So that's your number two. Well, number three, I don't think we're going to have this tomorrow. I'm going to Jesse's my father-in-law's place. But mac and cheese. I got to go with that. Number three, mac and cheese. See, my turkey dinners and all, it's all sides. That's all I like is sides, even though I just said I like turkey, but it's all sides. Yeah. Mashed potatoes, stuffing, mac and cheese.
Okay. With my third pick, I'm going Pillsbury croissants.
Oh, that's a good one.
As like the dinner rolls. You could you save those for the next day and make a sandwich.
Yeah.
But you got to have that on the side with your food. All right, where are you going? We'll just do 5 picks. Where are you going for 4, Steven?
Oh, number 4, I'm going with a green bean casserole. I think you can make that
green beans.
Delicious. I think you can make that kind of delicious if you'd like.
Okay. I'm gonna go off the table here a little bit. I'm gonna go with some appetizers, and these are my own personal things, like the pregame meals when you're watching football. I'm a big pigs in a blanket type of guy. When you wake up in the morning and you're just watching the Lions lose a game. Back in the day, today or tomorrow, you're either winning a game. These days, but I would go with pigs in a blanket, and I love this is a tradition me and my little brother do. A little pepperoni and brie for the afternoon games. A little pepperoni and brie. And you put wheat thins as the bread, and you make yourself a little sandwich.
So wheat thins are your blanket?
Yeah.
That's not a blanket.
Well, okay. Pigs in a blanket, two separate things. You have your pigs in a blanket for your breakfast meal. Yeah. Traditional pigs in a blanket, little smokies and croissants.
Right.
And then for the afternoon, you make little brie and pepperoni, and then your bread are wheat thins.
Yeah, you don't got to. I mean, they're just two separate things. You don't got to connect the two.
Appetizers in general. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, if we're going things that we're making, then I am going to go with mine of my creation. Not really my creation. It was off a website. Cranberry brie bread, which I made for Friendsgiving on Sunday. Yeah. You got the Pillsbury biscuits.
A Friendsgiving, you say, huh?
Yeah. You get the biscuit. You get the biscuits. You get the brie. And what you do is you take the biscuits, then you cut like a little, you cut them into thirds, and then you spread it out. And since it's brie and it's soft and creamy in the middle, you could scrunch it up, put a couple of pieces of cubed brie in the middle of it, and then you just wrap it up in a little ball, put it in a bundt cake pan, and then stuff that thing. You put a little cranberry in it, some thyme. Oh, it's delicious.
Ooh, okay, that sounds really good.
Oh,
okay,
it's amazing.
All right, my last thing that I need for Thanksgiving. I'm a simple man. I just need a good drink. It's not Thanksgiving Day without a good Bloody Mary.
Fuck.
I know.
You are got to be the only human being on this planet who would put a Bloody Mary in his Thanksgiving draft.
It's part of the
hell.
It's
what is wrong with your taste buds, dude?
It's part of with the routine, my friend.
God, yeah. I'm gonna snack on some turkey and some stuffing and all this savory food.
Stuffing's okay, but I don't need it.
Let me have a Bloody Mary to wash it all down.
Yeah.
Good God, man.
That's me, baby. That's me.
All right. Well, my do I have one more pick or am I done?
I'm good, but you can do whatever you want.
I have water, Derek, because I drink water when I'm eating my meal. So water is my last pick.
Well, that's lame.
Water, dude.
Yeah. You don't have any alcohol during the day when you're doing Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I have a little bit of beer, but I got to work. I work on Thanksgiving Day. I work on Thanksgiving after.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. John Madden Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Do you ever try turducken?
Never tried it.
I want to do that one year.
Always wanted to.
Yep. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy John Madden Thanksgiving Day. Watch all three games and then the Black Friday game. Alrighty, Steven, you good for Saturday this week to react to the Raider game?
All good.
All right. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Thanks everybody in the chat today. We had a pretty good turnout. Let's see who we got here. We got, I don't think Ernie 1 showed up today, but we got Ernie 2, Rockanuera, Pat H, AJ Cruz, True Blue Forever. What's going on, man? You're usually in the KMBR chat, but thanks for coming over. Baby Huey, thanks for stopping in, man. That was awesome. We'll definitely get him on the pod. He told, I think he said in the chat here, anytime you need me, I'm down to come on.
That'd be
That's
sick.
awesome of here. Tacky, eat shit. Jesse with some of the best quotes we've seen in the chat in a long time, saying she's going on birth control because of Steven's name suggestions for their babies. Danny Golding TV, thank you for stopping by as always. And Otis Birder's the word. What's up, man? I believe that's it. If I missed you, Skills popped up for a little while. If I missed you, I apologize. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We always enjoy you guys being a part of this chat. And yeah, we'll see you guys on Saturday. Steve, anything else you want to get into?
Oh, just I'll just say this: if you're not even a hockey fan at all, Macklin Celebrini's for real, man. This kid's different. So
What about Macklin Celebrini Langford? Want to wait on that?
yeah, actually,
All right.
Jesse might like that one.
Okay. What about Joe Thornton Langford?
Joe Thornton Langford, that's a big one. Maybe Douglas Murray Langford,
Okay.
Craig Rivet Langford, Evgeny Nabokov Langford. There's a lot of different ones we could go with.
Nice. All right. Well, next episode we'll come up with some baby names for Steven and Jesse. I've always said that I made a commitment to my friend a long time ago that my firstborn child needs to be named Jub Jub, and I'm sticking by that.
All right.
Until then, we'll see you guys on Saturday. Steven, say what you always say.
Forget about it, cuh. Just watch Too Fast, Too Furious.
We need to
That's
talk
just
about
our
that. Too.
opinion. That's just our opinion, man.